Toy Man 52 is back with another toy discussion so soon. Well, that's just because a couple extra things happened. So I'm going to talk about Galactus' new Tier 3, and then I'm going to be talking about an email I got about the King Shark Bloody Mouse. So I'm going to be hitting those two things, and I'll also be showing what I am going to be reviewing. So stick around for all that, or fast forward to see the product you care about. Maybe I'll put timestamps down, I'll see. But those are just three things I'm going to be talking about today, and kind of how I feel about some of those things. Morg was announced last night after Silver Surfer was unlocked, and we also hit 18K, 1,000 more after Silver Surfer. And now we got Morg, right? And this is a whole new figure, and this figure looks amazing. It's a deluxe figure. It's a whole new sculpt. It's the second very newest thing you can really get with this set other than Galactus himself, as the other figures are reused parts. Nova is new, but she is being kind of re-released already. We just don't see it yet because that body mold will be used before she does arrive. So it's not technically 100% new for Galactus. With Morg though, well, let's just go back with talk a bit more about what they said with Morg. So Morg is a great, unique character, right? It's a great character selection. It's a million times better than what we have with the Silver Surfer announcement, just because that's 100% reused, right? Like, and then the only thing new with it was that purple stand he gets, and yeah, just kind of all right. But that's why they made it 1,000, right? And then this guy's going to be 3,000 backers needed extra to get to Galactus. It does make it seem like, yeah, I'm excited about it, but this is why I don't like what Hasbro did with it. Is that one, they put him at the very, not the very end, because I do believe there is a fourth tier still to be announced, but they did throw this guy at the very end, and then they said, hey, if we don't get the numbers, he probably won't be released. Now, I do find that funny that they would say something like that, and especially when they've been constantly thanking the fans, and we could have done it without you guys, and the fans always come first, and then, hey, Morg, but if we don't get the money first, you guys ain't getting Morg, and you probably never will. And that's not my own words, you know. I that's just from the announcement. Dwight said, you know, you probably won't see this guy coming down the road. Now, that just depends on how big of a backlash the fans were going to act on that. You know, I do think Morg's going to get released, so there's no even real reason to be mad about it. But it's just kind of funny that they're going to say, the fans come first. We thank you, the fans. Here's Morg, and we just need 20,000. But, oh, by the way, if we don't get to 20,000, you will never see him again. Because money's first. I mean, it's a business. I get it. But, you know, it's just kind of funny. You can't just say, hey, this is for the fans, and we're all for it. We're fans too. And then when, you know, if you're a fan too, you wouldn't threaten a figure to never get made, especially a character that has never been made. Threaten me with a freaking Wolverine. How about that? Like, threaten me with a Wolverine and say, hey, if you guys don't do this, then we'll never do a Wolverine again, because I will be fine with that. I will sign the papers for it. Just don't touch the Hugh Jackman ones, right? You know, with the Surfer, it's just that no one would have not brought in buyers, you know. The only thing that really brought in buyers is because people really wanted to see what Tier 3 was, and people now really want to see what Tier 4 will probably be, because we're at 19,000 something right now. We will definitely see that fourth tier unlock. At least the reveal, right? Now, as far as what could it be, it can be anything, really. You got other heralds that they can do. Airwalker and Firelord are the biggest ones I've seen being mentioned. I want Firelord, but, you know, the fourth tier is the most risky tier, and Hasbro knows that that final tier will be the risky one. Last year with the Sentinel, they didn't even have a fourth tier planned. They just did a Tri-Sentinel head, and it was all programmed image like Morg was, basically, and all just digital rendered images, and hey, here was the Triborg head. And it was a very meh thing, but it got unlocked either way, and we saw its release. I don't know what the 4th tier will be with Galactus. I mean, I always thought it was going to be a unmasked head or a celestial head, which they talked about, but I felt like they talked way too much about it, come to think of it. And if there's anything that's actually going to get released, they don't talk about it. Like, it is the furthest thing that's really talked about, unless it gets leaked, of course. But they will not talk about it unless they announce it first, right? So the fact that they talked about a celestial head and had a very long conversation on it, I imagine that's definitely not the extra tier. Could be unmasked head still, you know, if they really are trying to get those, just that extra number of sales for people to buy a 4th if they're, you know, like a head army builder, right? Whatever the name is for those, for people like me that are like that, you know. But I do think it should be a herald. I think it'd be actually kind of cool. We'd see, you know, a real box set, and that would make fans really say this box set's worth it, because people are still saying it's not worth it at the $400 price point. And with Morg attached to it, I'm like, okay, I'm a little bit better with it, and I do believe that we will just have him unlocked. We're already at 19,000, and if Hasbro really did like and think the fans, and if the number got cut off at somewhere in between 19,000, and they just said, nope, we're not doing Morg, and we never will, that would be a big backlash, I think. You know, so I'm not worried about Morg. I'm sure we're getting him. It's the 4th tier that's really going to be like, are we getting this or not? And we don't even know what it is. Firelord, I think, is just like that amazing character, but it's also too risky. People need Firelord. You can't take out Firelord and say he's not coming and he never will, even though he's like one of the main ones that people have seen. You know, Terrax is an option too. They might just redo Terrax. This is the thing. And this is why I think maybe it could be Terrax. It's another Build-A-Figure, which would make the set even more worth it, right? It's a Build-A-Figure, and it's going to be new pieces, and the best part of it is the figure was already released, so they can threaten that we will never release another Terrax again if this is the only way we could have gotten him out. I completely see that happening. Morg was doable, but Terrax would be one I think that would be like, wow. Now, in the pictures, though, they do show that it's a person flying. Terrax can be sitting on rocks and stuff, so that could be CGI on there, that he's just standing on rocks, and that would be the biggest trick. So, between Terrax, Airwalker, and Firelord, I'm going to say Terrax is the guy that's going to be that extra herald, if it is a herald at all. You know, that's just my kind of spiel on it. To see Terrax updated with those joints that were like with the balls, you know, like they need new upper thigh joints. That's what Terrax needs, and we hate those ball joints that you would see down there, and that's something that we should see replaced with the Terrax. And I don't think he kind of warrants himself to be released in a wave again, even though Marvel has gotten so many fans over the years since Terrax first came out. He's still not that much of a wanted figure by, you know, random fans, right? Like people that are just kind of like casual Marvel fans, don't know much on Galactus. You know, and plus the guys that already have heralds, you know, and they really want them, they already got Terrax, so that's why it's just kind of like that easy, let's thread that one away. I do want to talk about King Shark as well. And I've gotten an email back from the customer service with McFarlane. And I asked them, hey, like, what's going on with this King Shark? Why is there bloody and non-bloody? And so the simple thing is, and I will show a screenshot while I'm talking here, is that it's got a first batch that was made. The first batch that was made was a mistake. It was non-bloody. They said, hey, we are going to stop that and include bloody. That's what I was told. And obviously I'll show you the image, or you're probably seeing it right now, that's what they told me. And I also followed up with another question asking, hey, do you guys have replacement pieces? Is it, like, do you got a replacement head? I can show a receipt, things like that. See if there is a process out there for people who did want that original head. Now, because that's also what the lady said, was that the first batch had no blood. Does that mean that there's actually a batch out there that the rare batch is the clean batch? And possibly King Shark might get released in stores, and then you'll see the blood. So maybe it'll be a casual, not casual release. It's still going to be kind of a hard exclusive to find. But, you know, just like how we see the Armored Darkseid, he's in stores. He's popping up at Targets everywhere. He's in the Midwest now. And there, you know, he was starting out in California. Now he's getting there. So, you know, East Coast, he will get there eventually. Unless he's already there right now. But there's a release for King Shark, I think, and if you do want to see a replacement, I mean, hey, message customer service McFarlane. There might be like hey, there's a big red flag here with a bunch of these figures, and maybe that can get them some motivation to start adding blood to the character. King Shark's face, and maybe they would send out replacement pieces. So I already talked about Galactus, I talked about King Shark. Now I just want to give a heads up of what my next review is going to be. So I already opened it up because I already started the review, but I'm doing the Platinum Edition Batman, right? Now, paid big bucks on eBay for this. I mean, not too big bucks, but didn't find them at retail, basically. And yeah, so this review is going to be coming up very shortly, so keep on the lookout for that next week. And I will see you guys on my next toy discussion. And hopefully we can all learn from this. I'm just kidding. Just like and subscribe, and please come back again. Thanks.